Welcome to 99th Monkey Liberty News for Monday, October 6th, 2014. The first article for today is from Business Insider. Elizabeth Warren, the secret New York Fed tapes confirm the game is rigged. The information that we have all been aware of and all the secrets that have been hidden for a long time are coming out into the public, and particularly pertaining to the stock markets. And this is a newsletter, weekly stock market commentary that Don puts together. And this week he has as his focus, the commentary has charts. It's really for people who are interested in technical trading of stocks. But each week he chooses an article that he considers particularly relevant to what's going on in the markets. This week, PM fund manager Cartel attempting to do to gold what they did in 1974. And this is the article as it appears on Silver Doctors. So if you are holding metals, which I think a lot of liberty, alternative media truthers, conspiracy theorists, whatever you want to call yourself, I'm personally not afraid to be called a conspiracy theorist because my theories are based on facts. Most people who follow alternative media, or a lot of people, tend to hold precious metals. And this is some good information about that the bad guys are really doing everything they possibly can to sink the ship and to pull out all the wealth from Americans. And as this article states, in this at least, they are kind of failing because the amount of physical gold purchased in September was, I think, one of the biggest on record. This article has all the details on that. But people are buying metals. So if we can all wise up and block this, the world will be a better place. From Zero Hedge, is this the usual reason why stocks are plunging? And yeah, this morning markets are down, gold and silver are up. So it's almost like watching a game of tennis, though. You know, it goes one way, then it goes the other way. But interesting chart here and statement. This really just goes to show that we can't believe these sources that we've come to depend on. And I think most people watching this video are aware of that. But just to reinforce that notion. And as I stated with the Elizabeth Warren article, a lot of this knowledge really is breaking into the mainstream media. And I'm using the financial news as an example this morning. But on many levels, people are becoming aware. People are becoming aware of internet freedom. People are becoming aware of the NSA and the extent to which we've been spied on. People are becoming aware of many, many of these issues. People are becoming aware that the Federal Reserve is really not completely lawful. And a lot of people know about the creature from Jekyll Island, and a lot of that news really is breaking into the mainstream. It's not right in the middle of the mainstream, but it's breaking into it. And this Bloomberg article, Forex investigation, a global affair. And this is becoming big news. This is becoming too big to ignore. Can we coin that? I'm sure somebody else has already said that. But it is. It's becoming too big to ignore on a lot of fronts. What the cabal, the social engineers, have done, the evil they have planned, is breaking into the mainstream, and many people are becoming aware of it. And I'm actually wondering if that's what is going on with this Ebola push, that just as we are on the horizon of victory, of right, just we can almost see that the evil is being exposed, and once it's exposed, of course, it will shrivel and fail. But just as that's happening, here comes Ebola. And would they like to kill us? Well, I'm sure they would like to kill us. Can they kill us? I seriously doubt it. But they manipulate our fears even if they can't kill us. And from InfoWars, this is something that has occurred to me. Ebola may spread in Dallas homeless community. And they're mentioning the homeless because this homeless man reportedly rode an ambulance after Thomas Eric Duncan. However, I've been pondering even letting all the unaccompanied children, all the illegal immigrants across the border recently. These people many of them are homeless, or they're probably in crowded facilities, and many times the hygiene practices of recent immigrants are not that good. And I'm not being racist or criticizing anybody. That's just a fact. Last year in 2013, I had to do a refresher class to keep my real estate license, and one of the units that I studied was city planning, and I saw some of the actual statistics on immigrants. That's even legal immigrants. There's a very high rate of teen pregnancy, a very low rate of education, very high rate of disease. So, I'm talking about per capita, and then it's just a fact. The open borders make us vulnerable because, of course, things can intentionally be brought in, but they also make us vulnerable because the immigrants don't have great housing. They tend to not be healthy. They can become a powder keg for potential disease, where it might just take a spark, and that disease could be set off among immigrant populations. And has that been done intentionally? One of the questions that people began to ask over the weekend is the U.S. government, at least what's posing as the U.S. government, intentionally setting things up so that to invite Ebola to spread? And it certainly looks as if some balls were intentionally dropped. And I'm not, that's speculation at this point. As far as I know, nothing's been proven. No whistleblowers have stepped up or anything like that. But I'd say it's certainly very likely, just knowing how these people work. And to go along with that, a few years ago, I helped some friends put together this website, Dr. U. And this is the page and the information about immune strength. And here, there are some supplements recommended here, and they're available, of course, on Amazon. So these are kind of out of the ordinary. I talk often about colloidal silver, garlic. I even have mentioned GSE, which I use a lot, and this is kind of like the next level. Some more extraordinary measures. But if you're uncomfortable about Ebola, or you don't feel that your immune system is at its best, you might want to look at some of these. And from Veterans Today, the Politics of Hemp, the corporate conspiracy that killed industrial hemp. And this is the history. Many of you are probably aware of it already. But Obama signed a farm bill that would legalize industrial hemp production for research purposes. And it does give the states some leeway here in growing industrial hemp. And many people believe that this could be a key to restoring our economy. But I think before we do that, as Benjamin Fulford often reminds us, we have to get rid of the bad guys in the U.S. government. And he has focused on that to some extent in his blog this week. The white hats control the weather. Now it is time to control the rest. And he has stated here that the white hats control the weather, and he uses the failure of typhoons and hurricanes to make landfall as an example of the white hats being in control of the weather. I think that's great. I hope it's true. If it is, if there are any white hats listening, guys, could you send some rain California way and maybe some snow for the mountains? We would all take that very kindly. Thanks. And I've learned about a add-on for Firefox. It's called Disconnect Me, and it's at disconnect.me. And I haven't had a chance to look into it to a large degree, but it seems to offer some greater internet freedom. And if you are interested in browsing a little more privately, you might want to look into this. And I'm closing today with what is not specifically good news, not even really specifically encouragement. It's just information. It's learning. It's understanding. And it can be found at Gutenberg.org, which is a great source for free things in the public domain, books, and so on. Archive.org is also a great source, and they even have some videos and some older films. Great. These are tremendous resources, and I'm so glad these are out there. But I want to specifically focus on Howard's End by E.M. Forster. I recently finished this, and I had seen the film some time ago. But the depth of understanding in this book is tremendous. E.M. Forster is a brilliant author, and he has remarkable insight. Considering when this was written, this book offers remarkable insight into human nature, gives a glimpse into the mindset that is motivated by greed and sets human value aside to some extent. And it's a great read. I mean, the emotional ride that you're on in the story and the plot is great. He editorializes a lot in this book from the point of view of characters, of course. And again, it's tremendous insight. Highly recommended. If you homeschool or have friends who homeschool, I think this book should probably be required reading every year after 8th grade, with an in-depth discussion to follow, because there are just a lot of gems of insight into human nature and the human condition, and what feeds the human spirit and what starves the human spirit. And those are things that it's helpful for all of us to know. Thank you for tuning in for today's 99th Monkey Liberty News. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Hoping that you will love one another, take care, and enforce the Bill of Rights.